All right, let's dive right in. We share this planet with millions, and I mean millions, of other life forms. So how in the world do we make sense of it all? Today we're exploring the incredible system we've built to bring some order to the beautiful, chaotic web of life. It's a story about wonder, organization, and, believe it or not, our own place in the grand scheme of things.
You know, the source material just says it perfectly. The living world is absolutely wonderful, and the sheer range of life is just amazing. I mean, think about it. From the absolute coldest mountains to boiling hot springs, from the deepest parts of the ocean to the driest deserts, life is just everywhere. It's enough to leave you speechless.
And this isn't just a feeling, we can actually put a number on it. Right now, biologists have identified and described somewhere between 1.7 and 1.8 million different species. And get this, we're discovering new ones all the time. That massive variety is what we call biodiversity. And as you can imagine, it creates a pretty huge organizational challenge.
Right? How do you even start to organize, study, and just talk about that many different kinds of plants, animals, fungi, and bacteria? That is the big question, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack. So to even get started, we first have to really wrap our heads around the scale of this whole thing. We are living in a world of wonder, for sure, but that wonder comes with a ton of complexity that absolutely screams for a system.
Okay, so you're faced with almost 2 million species. Where do you begin? Well, you start with the most basic tool we have for creating order: language. Before we can classify anything, we all have to agree on what to call it. This is the naming game, and it's our first step out of total confusion and into clarity. And here's exactly why we need it. Think about any common animal or plant. It might have a dozen different local names depending on what town or country you're in. That would be a complete nightmare for scientists trying to share their research, right? So there had to be a universal, standardized way of naming things. That whole process is called nomenclature.
And the science that gives us the rules for all this is called taxonomy. But it's way more than just naming. It's a whole process. First, you look at an organism's unique features. That's characterization. Then you figure out what it is. That's identification. Next, you group it with similar organisms. That's classification. And finally, you give it that official standard name.
The absolute genius who came up with the system we still use today was Carolus Linnaeus, and his solution was so elegant. He called it binomial nomenclature. Binomial literally just means two names. Every single species gets its own unique two-part name. That's it. And what's so brilliant about it is how simple and universal the rules are. Every name is technically in Latin, and you always write it in italics. The first word is the genus, and it's always capitalized. The second word is the species name, and it's always lowercase. So simple, so consistent, and it works everywhere in the world. Let's just take a quick look at a perfect example: the delicious mango. Its scientific name is Mangifera indica. See? Mangifera, that's the genus. Indica, that's the specific species. A biologist in India, Brazil, or here in the United States all know exactly what you're talking about. Zero confusion. Okay, but naming millions of things is really only half the job. The bigger question is, how are they all related? So the next huge step is to group them all into a larger, organized structure. This is where we start climbing the ladder of life. Honestly, the best way to think about this is like your home address. You start with the most specific thing, your house number. And then you get broader and broader, right? Your street, your city, your state, your country. Biological classification works in exactly the same way. And here's what that biological address looks like. Each step on this ladder is a category, or taxon. So you start at the bottom with the most specific unit, the species. Related species then get grouped into a genus. Related genera get grouped into a family, and you keep climbing up and up through order, class, phylum, all the way to the biggest, most general category of all, the kingdom. So here's the most important thing to get. As you go up that ladder from species to kingdom, the groups get bigger, but the members share fewer and fewer things in common. For example, a lion and a tiger are super similar. They're in the same genus, Panthera. But the kingdom they belong to, Animalia, includes everything from lions to sea sponges. See what I mean? Now, this whole system of nested boxes can feel a little abstract. So let's make it super concrete. Let's find our address on this ladder of life. It's time to see where we humans fit into this whole thing. Yeah, what's our biological address? How does this ladder of life apply to us?
to Homo sapiens?
Let's walk through it together. Our species name is sapiens. We belong to the genus Homo. Our family is Hominidae, which includes the great apes. Our order is Primata, along with monkeys and lemurs. We're in the class Mammalia because we have hair and produce milk. Our phylum is Chordata because we have a spinal cord. And finally, our kingdom is Animalia. See? It all fits together perfectly. We have a place.
So that's pretty cool. We found our spot in the system. But honestly, the most amazing insight here isn't that we fit, but what it all means. This classification system, it turns out, isn't just a tidy filing cabinet for nature. It's actually a map of the great family tree of life. Because this whole thing, this system, isn't just about organizing for the sake of it. It's about revealing deep evolutionary relationships. The whole reason a lion and a tiger are grouped so closely is because they share a pretty recent common ancestor. The entire structure is a reflection of evolution. And when this idea really clicked for humanity, it was revolutionary. The realization that all life, from a tiny bacterium to a giant whale to us, is all related, well, that was a profound change in how we saw ourselves. It was a revelation that, as one biologist put it, humbled man. And this way of thinking has huge real-world consequences. When you truly understand our shared ancestry, this intricate web of life, it becomes a powerful driver for conserving biodiversity. We're not just protecting random animals and plants, we're protecting our own, very, very distant relatives.
And that's where we'll leave it. If we know that we aren't separate from nature, but are actually just one small branch on this immense, ancient family tree, what's our responsibility in taking care of it? It's a question that goes way beyond science, and it's one that every single one of us has to think about.